The San Jose Sharks blow a 2-0 lead, but William Eklund had his first career multi-point game. And with all the injuries piling up, what reinforcements could we get from the Barracuda? So all that and more on today's episode.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is Tank Commander JD Young, contributor at San Jose Hockey Now. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly a part of the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everydayer, all you got to do is just follow along wherever you get podcasts, or you can watch on YouTube as well, or do both. Both is great. And the Sharks had a lead, outplayed an opponent for majority of the game, but still found a way to lose as they fall 3-2 to the Montreal Canadiens in a shootout. So we're going to be discussing that. Eklund's big performance today. Tomas Hertl just being awesome. And the power play starting to come to life, and some potential reinforcements from the Barracuda here in just 1 minute. But before we get to all that, do want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you guys by GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. So, our Swedish son, first multi-point game, goal and an assist today, and also a shootout goal. It's side note, tangent note. Why do shootout points goals not count? You are still scoring a goal. But I digress. This we're starting to see, and I know David Quinn said that in the post-game press conference that Eklund's game had been slipping a little bit, and yes, defensive lapses, and that's part of being a 21-year-old kid playing in your first full season in the NHL. You're going to have those, but performances why today, or why you have to stick with him through the ups and the downs, because Eklund and Tomas Hertl, who we'll get to in a minute, were huge parts of why the Sharks even, were in a position to win this game, and why you drafted William Eklund 7th overall, and why you think William Eklund is a foundational piece of your future going forward. Goal and an assist today. Finally gets his first career multi-point game. And we've been seeing this Eklund perform, continuing to build up and continuing to, just kind of stringing together good games. I'm not going to count the last game because everybody played bad in that game, but we're starting to kind of see him putting together good games. And, the Sharks do have a bit of a stretch here where they're playing, 3 games in 4 nights. And, before they head on a big East Coast swing. So we'll see how they continue to play over the weekend and on Monday. But again, you are starting to potentially see Eklund coming through. And William Eklund right now, second on the team in points behind Tomas Hertl. That's good. That is good. He's doing good things. And it's not just the assists, right? It's the goals, it's the assists, it's everything that you're wanting to see out of him. He has been providing what you're wanting to see this season. Like this is what you want. This is what we wanted to see, right? And again, we know there's going to be lapses and stuff. And right now, I think if the Sharks had more healthy bodies, this was definitely a potential press box game for Eklund. But again, this is why you can't. That's why you have to keep playing him, because he is one of your best players. I mean, behind Tomas Hertl, who else has been, their best forwards this year? Zadina, who I thought Zadina had another good game tonight. And I know Mike Hoffman's been coming on, but Mike Hoffman was brutal to start the season. Like, you're starting to see Eklund, put together some of these games that we've been wanting to see from him going forward. So, and I mean, it's no coincidence, I think, that since you put Hertl and Eklund together, you've been seeing the Sharks, for the most part, play better games. And Hertl had an absolute monster night tonight, especially after injuring his knee in Wednesday's game against the Kraken. I know he came back out, but there was, you never know, especially how your knee kind of feels the next day or next couple days afterwards. But Hertl was an absolute monster tonight for the Sharks, or this afternoon. I'm going to keep saying tonight as out of habit, but Hertl was an absolute monster for today for the Sharks. 2 assists on both the goals, and did a lot, especially on the Hoffman goal, winning the puck back, kind of never say die on that, getting the puck back, getting into Eklund, and then Eklund able to do what Eklund does behind the net to find Zadina, or not Zadina, to find Hoffman for the goal. Winning the draw, boom, pass goes over to Eklund for the goal. Hertl's been playing very, very well this year, and it's good to see Hertl playing very well, very well, because it's what you need. What you need, grown-ups on the team, and Tomas Hertl is being exactly what you're expecting out of him. So, Eklund now second on the team in goals with 4, behind Mike Hoffman. So, that's cool. That's cool. And then, kind of my other big takeaway say is again, I know this Canadiens team isn't very good. They've been struggling just as much as the Sharks have, but we saw the power play, especially that first power play. I know they didn't score on it, but that power play, the first power play at the end of the first period, that was one of the best power plays we had seen from the Sharks all year. And you can see Addison's influence with it, where starting to get more comfortable in the system, starting to kind of get used to the guys around him. And, I didn't want to judge Addison too quickly, especially with the trade factor, right? But you're starting to see Addison's influence, especially on the power play, take hold on the team. And that power play was massive for the Sharks to really get going, because the way this game started, the Sharks kind of came out, and then the Canadiens really outplayed them for the good chunk of the game, until the Sharks got that power play. They had 10 shot attempts in that power play in the first period, 6 shots on goal, 6 scoring chances, 3 high danger chances. Basically, should have scored a goal. I had a .97 expected goals for on that 2-minute power play right there. Easily one of their best, and actually having a puck moving defenseman who can read the play really, really helps the power play. Everyone kind of fits in their spots more, right? I'm still, whenever Couture comes back, I would like to see him take Granlund's place on the power play. And then I think you'd have a power play of Duclair, Hertl, Couture, Eklund, and then Addison. Like, okay, you can talk me into that there. And then Hoffman, Granlund, Zadina, Zetterlund, like on the second unit, like, okay, you can really talk me into that. And then whenever Barabanov gets back, like, the Sharks will actually have real options for a power play here soon. But again, like, you're seeing, I know the Canadiens are just as bad of a team, but the Sharks power play, it's been starting to kind of come together. And I think this could be this game, or the way the power play played today, getting the goal. I know it was basically off a set play 3 seconds into the second power play, but this could be an opportunity where you can start to kind of see it building to become an actual functional NHL unit, instead of what we've seen from it from the beginning of the season. So despite the loss, a lot of good things to take out of it. And we'll dig into some of the numbers here in just a second and talk about, how the Sharks actually kind of outplayed Montreal for a good chunk of this game. But again, you can't be happy with just a 2-goal lead in today's NHL. So we'll dig into all that here in 1 second. I know the holiday season can be tough for some people, and sometimes you just need someone to talk to kind of figure things out. That's where BetterHelp comes in. If you're struggling, with trying to find a bright spot amid all the stress and change, if you need something to look forward to make you feel grounded, give you the tools to manage everything going on, therapy can be a huge spark for people. The great thing about BetterHelp is it's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. So if you're thinking about starting therapy, BetterHelp is definitely worth trying out. All you have to do is just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. And if you feel like this therapist isn't the one for you, or it's not the right connection, you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/lockedonnhl today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedonnhl. So get 10% off your first month today. All right, so what do the numbers say? And I think we have to first start with the lines. The lines are going to be a little funky today because Filip Zadina left the game in the first period. I think apparently he's been having a nagging upper body issue, and we'll talk about some of the injuries and stuff here at the end of the episode, and kind of who could be potential fits to try to kind of fill in. So what we mainly saw though in this game was Eklund, Hertl, Hoffman, and then Zetterlund, Granlund, Duclair, and then Cunnin, Sturm, and then we saw kind of a rotating cast. So we'll mainly focus on the top two lines because those lines have kind of the most consistent. Everyone else was kind of a rotating cast here, at least when it comes to forwards. But the bigger numbers for this game at 5v5, Sharks actually outshot. First of all situations, the Sharks actually outshot a team for the first time all season. This is game 19. The Sharks outshot a team for the first time all season. It is game 19. So do with that what you will. 5v5 shot attempts were even, 47-46 in favor of the Canadiens, and it was really the Sharks kind of in the it was pretty even back and forth, and the Sharks actually in the third period outshot, or at least shot attempts outshot the Canadiens 16-8, despite having a lead for the entire time until kind of midway through, and then trying to put it away, trying to put this game away. But actual shots though 23-20 at 5v5. Scoring chances was even 24-24. High danger chances 11-8 in favor of the Canadiens. Expected goals for 2.17 to 1.71 in favor of the Sharks. So good things from the Sharks there at 5v5. And the great thing about it, like if you look at the heat map, it is literally all between the dots, beautiful, like nice red, high danger. Like the Sharks got to the front of net and took a bunch of shots there, but just weren't able to convert. And that's going to be kind of the story of this game, just not able to convert in this game. So the forward lines, so like I said, so Zetterlund, Granlund, Duclair played the most time on ice at 5v5, 12-10. They had 9 shot attempts, gave up 9, 5-5. Actual shots, 0 goals, gave up 0 goals, 0.19 expected goals for, and then 0.21 expected goals allowed. 3-3 scoring chances, 1. They gave up 1 high danger chance, so with mostly kind of neutral zone starts. The Eklund, Hertl, Hoffman line. So they played 10-40 time on ice, 12 shot attempts, gave up 9, 6-4 actual shots, had a goal, gave up a goal. And then it was 0.36 to 0.42 expected goals, 4-6 scoring chances in favor of the Canadiens, and 2-3 high danger chances in favor of the Canadiens, with 4-4-5 for the zone starts. So 5 defensive zone starts for them. And then we saw Cunnin, Sturm, Hoffman kind of started the game, and they did not have a good start, but things kind of got a little bit better, I think, for that line going forward. So the defense, we'll kind of look at the defense here, which defenders I thought had. So this was, I thought, a really good game for Calen Addison. Really, so he had 14 shot attempts while he was on the ice, while only giving up 8. So that's a 63.64% Corsi force. This is kind of one of those games from Addison that were really why you traded for him, right? As a potential piece for you in the future. And I think he's starting to get more comfortable, starting to kind of fit in with the Sharks and with the system, right? It's very easy just to say like, hey, just go play hockey with them. But you have to give him a little bit of a runway for these. So, and he played with Matt Benning today, who came back from IR. You have the Farrow Emberson and Ochak Burrows. Ochak Burrows combo got absolutely demolished today. But yeah, the Addison Benning combo, both those guys had really positive Corsi fours, led the team actually. So when those two were on the ice, they were out shooting the Canadiens, which is good to see. Ferraro, also a pretty positive game from him today. 54.29% Corsi 4. Had a chance and just had the puck come off of his stick at late in the third to potentially kind of do something. And then Burrows, Ochak, both those guys kind of got shelled. 14. So Ochak gave up 14 shots, or produced 14 shots, but gave up 23. And Kyle Burrows produced 13 shots and gave up 23 when those guys were on the ice. And then who else am I missing here? Emberson, also positive game, 19-15. So again, I know the Canadiens are a bad team, but good to see a little bit of positive from the defense here, especially except for that bottom pair of Burrows, Ochak. I know Ochak's been playing well, and Burrows is kind of, maybe coming back, but we'll see if Vlasic gets an opportunity to get back in here, or Nikolai Knizhov gets an opportunity to get back in here soon. So we'll kind of see what happens with those guys. But it is what it is with the defense, right? We know where the defense is at. So looking at how Mackenzie Blackwood played today. So 24 shots. So that's like a period for Mackenzie Blackwood most days. So 24 shots, 22 saves, give up 2 expected goals against 2.11. So right in line where you would expect. 917 save percentage, 5 high danger shots, 5 high danger saves, 12 mid-danger shots, 10 mid-danger saves, and 7 low-danger shots and saves from Blackwood. So Sharks defense did a good job of continuing to kind of keep the pressure off, not giving up so many high-danger chances or shots for Mackenzie Blackwood. He made some really nice saves. The one against Cole Caulfield where he is going left to right and just gets across that lateral movement on Cole Caulfield, who has an absolute wonderful shot, one of the best shooters I would say in the NHL, just pure shooters. Cole Caulfield is right up there with them, and he denied him. And Cole Caulfield got his though later on in that breakaway, but that was a very, very nice attempt, a very, very nice save on Mackenzie Blackwood by Mackenzie Blackwood. And you kind of, if Caulfield feels there, it scores there, maybe this game's a lot different because maybe the wheels start to come off on the Sharks, as we've seen from them many, many times when kind of things start to get a little tough going. But overall, though, I think a lot of positives. You played, pretty even against a pretty even team, and but again, it's the inability to find that extra goal, find that extra gear. When the Sharks tried in the third period, they put the pressure on in the third period to try to kind of take the lead again. But, and overtime is a very even back and forth affair. But when you get to the shootout, it's a lot of luck there. And the shootout was absolutely hilarious. Whereas the first 2 guys score, and then it's just 5 rounds of missing. So before we get into some potential help coming from the CUDA, kind of look at which guys are kind of banged up right now and which guys may be deserving of a potential look. Just need to take a quick break here. If you are looking for last-minute tickets, GameTime is the way to go. GameTime is fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, theater events near you. So maybe this time of year, you're going holiday shopping, you want to get someone, maybe some Warriors tickets, some Niners tickets, don't get so much Sharks tickets unless you don't like them or something. I don't know. But GameTime, though, they've got you covered. They have last minute deals, all in prices views from your seat and the best price guaranteed. I love the views from your seat. That way you can actually see where you're going to sit. You're going to know exactly what the view is. You can kind of look around the map, see, okay, I like this seat, or maybe I don't like this seat, or for a couple of dollars more and get a much better seat. Game Time's got you covered with that. And the only thing better than seeing the views from your seat is knowing how much you're going to pay right away, because with Game Time, they have the all-in pricing as you're shopping. Nothing worse than going to checkout and then they slam a bunch of fees on top of you. Game Time does not do that. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDON NHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, with some potential injuries here. So let's kind of go through where we are at, especially among the forward group right now, because it is getting a little dicey. So Nico Sturm did come back from his leave of absence. Apparently had to go to Germany and back. So good for him for dealing with all that. But right now, healthy forwards. So you have Tomas Hertl, Mikael Granlund, Mike Hoffman, Anthony Duclair, Fabian Zetterlund, William Eklund, Giovanni Smith, Ryan Carpenter, Kevin Labanc, who did skate today in warmups, but was a scratch because of the injury he sustained from the slew foot. So maybe he's able to go tomorrow for the Sharks. But it's we'll see, especially with the who the Sharks play tomorrow, playing Vancouver and San Jose. The return of not the return of the scene, but anyway, you have Stov Couture, of course, and Barabanov and Oscar Lindblom, who are all on IR. Maybe Lindblom comes back, but we haven't even heard if he's skating or anything with his injury. So if Zadina's unable to go and Labanc's still not feeling well, I think you're going to have to look at some potential call-ups, because you can't just run out 10 forwards and 20 defensemen as the Sharks would like to do. I think you might really have to look at who could be a potential, who could provide you with some flexibility, or at least, you need some more forwards is the best way to put this. So, and the two guys I think that come to mind, of course, are Thomas Bordeleau and Danil Gushchin. So, and with the Sharks right now, like, the center depth is okay, and I think that you'd be looking at potential forwards to bring up. So, the problem is that most of these forwards, like Zadina and Labanc, have been usually kind of playing on the bottom six, and I think Gushchin and Bordeleau are probably more apt to be playing on the top line. But you can also move around hop. Like there's still some flexibility. So let's start with Bordeleau, who has been absolutely on fire since he went back to the Barracuda playing. He's been scoring at a very good rate. And the thing about it, though, is he's been playing on wing since he got back, right? And I think the Eklund Bordeleau, the Bordeleau center dream is kind of dead right now. And I think it's going to be the Bordeleau makes it going to be on the wing, especially. Also look at who the Sharks have drafted recently. You got Beasted, you got Smith, you got potentially Michael Celebrini. And the best way I think for Bordeleau going forward is to be playing on the wing. But Bordeleau has been awesome for the Sharks, or for the Barracuda recently, and I think we'll know a lot more if he doesn't play tonight, because I'm recording this at 4:30 and the Barracuda play tonight. If Bordeleau is not playing tonight, I think that's going to give you kind of everything you need to know about if he's going to be in the lineup for the Sharks tomorrow. But so Bordeleau, pulling up his stats right now. He says returning, he has been very good. So he's got 7 games. He has 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points. And one power play goal. So it's been a lot of 5-on-5 work for Bordeleau this season. So and again, when you're feeling like you're pretty solid down the middle between Granlund and Sturm and Carpenter and Hertl, having Bordeleau kind of come up and play the wing and see, I know it's only been 7 games, but kind of maybe seeing, okay, where have you improved, right? Can you make this transition for us from center to wing? You're going to be playing a very, very good Vancouver team going forward tonight, and then on Monday you play the Caps before heading out. So Bordeleau makes a lot of sense. You also Danil Gushchin, who I know they want to continue to kind of grow and develop and be a more well-rounded type of player, and of course kind of hit the weight room a little bit. He's a potential guy too, but Jacob Peterson, who I think he kind of got put into a bad position by having to play for center for the Sharks when he came up. I think if you need him to play wing, I think that's a better fit for him. And I think he kind of fits more of that middle six guy that they might be potentially looking for as a replacement for, if Zadina's out or if Labanc is out, continues to be out. I think Peterson would be a kind of, I think he might be the guy that gets called up. And he's had produced pretty well. He's had 8 games so far, and he's scored 2 goals, 3 assists with 5 points. He had a really nice goal the other night. But I think he kind of fits with the mold of what type of player you're looking for. And I know, believe me, you can make the argument of just bring up good guys and play your best players. And Bordeleau has been the Barracuda's best player since returning. With returning to the Barracuda in the AHL. But again, if you're bringing Bordeleau up, are you putting him in the best position to succeed by potentially playing him on the third line? And I don't see Quinn. I mean, if you do bring Bordeleau up, I would put him on the second line. I would go so here's the lines I would run if I was David Quinn and you brought Bordeleau up. So I would do Eklund, Hertl, and then Duclair. Second line of Zadina, Granlund, Bordeleau. And then you could have Sturm, Cunnin, Hoffman on your third line, and which that line has worked pretty well in the past recently. And then your fourth line of, Smith, Carpenter, and then Jacob McDonald. Like those kind of, I think you're putting young guys with older guys, and you're not kind of loading up with a bunch of young guys and putting, I think, your best players in a position to succeed. But if they do want to bring Peterson up, then I think maybe Hoffman stays on that first line, and then Peterson would probably slide into the third line to play with Cunnin, Sturm, Peterson, and then you would kind of keep your fourth line together, keep the rest of your lines together there. So we'll probably know more. Maybe Labanc is back. If Labanc's back, probably just kind of slides in that third line for the Hoffman slot, and Hoffman stays on the first line until you start to see some guys return. But and the way Hoffman's playing right now, right? He's got 5 goals in his last 5 games. Keep him up there, keep pumping that trade value. Colorado Avalanche, you like what you're seeing with Mike Hoffman right now. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens. So we got a lot of hockey right now. CUDA game here tonight, CUDA game in the afternoon tomorrow, Sharks game on Saturday. So we'll be back on Monday to kind of discuss the weekend that was in Sharks hockey. Monday, we also have the Caps game, and then we have a little bit of time before the Sharks start their road trip on Thursday. I think it's against Boston, so that's going to be an absolute bloodbath. So we'll have some time. Maybe we'll dig into some more prospects and all that fun stuff next week. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. You can follow me on Twitter at MyFryhole. Until Monday. Bye, friends.